Greetings and welcome back to Corpse Party, Book of Shadows. In the last episode we finished chapter 1 and, well, same thing happened as in the first game, but now we have chapter 2 unlocked, Demise. And now since we know that we cannot change our fate, everyone who died earlier will die again, we're now gonna see how the rest of those guys who died in Heavenly Host are going to die. So let's jump in, and of course, the person we're gonna play as is none other than Susumoto-san, e.g. Mayu. Why was I lying on the ground? My vision was blurred and indistinct. Maybe it was the blow to the head, or maybe it was because all of the tears in my eyes. I'd been forced out through the infirmary door and tossed like a rag doll into the hallway. I could barely breathe and was completely unable to move. I wished I could slip away into unconsciousness, but my agony was keeping me in the moment. My abdomen. I put my hand to it without thinking, and sharp pain flew through my palm as well. Looking down, that whole area of my body was soaked with blood and liberally pierced by large pieces of glass, many of them the size of drafting triangles. I said that in a pretty weird way. Whatever. I was certain some of them must have sliced all the way into my internal organs. Because this is Heavenly Host and pain is all there is in this place. Why was this happening to me? Oh, here we go. Oh god. Through my wail of tears, I could just barely make out the face of a young girl with an unearthly blue glow about her. She was looking right at me and seemed concerned? No. As she got closer, I could read her expression more clearly. She was smiling. Smiling and staring into my soul with one good eye and one empty socket. Come play with us, Danny. Shining shit happening here. Oh, and the rest of the gang's here. All at once I was pulled up into the air with incredible force by the other two faintly glowing children. One of my arms was being held by the spirit of a young boy, while the other was being held by a spirit of what I assumed to be a little girl. I couldn't tell for sure, since everything above her jawline was missing, leaving me with no facial features to read. Well, you can kinda see her facial features as a ghost. Her head was like a half-eaten fruit, with bottom teeth in place of seeds. I could see her vocal cords flutter and her throat contract with every giggle. Ugh. That's a colorful image. Again, nice explanation done by Corpse Party. Based on her size, I'd estimate she was still early grade school age. She held my arm tightly and her shadowy silhouette gazed at me innocently. And yes, Tokiko is... what was she? 7 or like 6? She's the youngest of them all. Her voice box gyrated a little and her throat opened and closed rhythmically, producing a gurgling sound that might have been a chuckle. She then said, "Let's paint a picture. You can be the paint." All three children were now staring right at me as if they were studying an ant's movement just before squishing it with their thumbs. In one single rough motion, I found myself flipped 90 degrees downwards. I was facing the ground, and I could sense myself moving forward rapidly. And here we go. Everyone remembers this scene from the first game. All meet Mayu. What a strange sensation. I was now staring up at the wall from the floor. There was a large slathering of chunky red bits strewn all over it. Their dull earth tones clashed heavily with the wall's worn-out grey hues. It looked almost as if someone had winged a juicy pomegranate against it with all their might. Except this was no pomegranate. It was a person. It was me. Just think about looking at a wall and realizing, oh, I'm pasted all across the wall. That's weird. My limbs were ripped clean off and my belly had burst open into a conglomeration of glistening blood, entrails and other miscellaneous bodily fluids. Yeah, that looks pretty nasty. The force of the impact was enough to scatter parts of me all the way to the ceiling. I was an unsightly mess of slimy globules and viscera. The smell was intensely foul, but then it was a conglomeration of raw meat. After all, never mind the fact that it was my meat. Okay, that sounded a little too dirty. And I was just a head. A severed head, torn off at the neck on impact, staring up at what was left of me in my last few moments of consciousness. Game over, and that's the chapter 2. There we go. Except that we didn't actually die, because that did not happen yet. Calm down, Mayu. Talk to me. Yume Nikki. Dream diaries. That's kind of like what Ayumi experienced when Yuki showed her what happened in 1953, was it? No, 1972 it was. Well, Class 5 has done a magnificent job on their haunted house. It's funny how she keeps whispering everything even when she's like shouting like Shigeni, Yui sensei. For someone to say something, they need to be nearby. There was no response. There was only a deep, all-encompassing silence that hung in the air like a fog. Oh. The changes of space in Heavenly Host are felt far and wide. This time I could actually say it correctly. I don't really know why sometimes they are not read, these thoughts, but sometimes they are like this. Oh, whatever. Good that Mayu actually doesn't delude herself into thinking that, oh, this is nothing, but also that she doesn't actually start panicking. Mayu is actually a really good character in that sense. But, just like Hinoi, Mayu is too good for her own sake, which eventually did lead to her demise. Oh, demise, this chapter's name. Thank you, I'm done. Where's everyone else? Well, in the original game you were in the same space as Ayumi and Yoshiki, so you're gonna meet up with them eventually. Oh, that sounds familiar. And that is coming from inside the infirmary. Or now it's coming from. If you remember from the first game, in the start of chapter 4, we actually see how Mayu woke up right outside the infirmary. The ghost children came in and went inside the infirmary, and she followed them in. Now this episode is actually a what if scenario if she didn't go inside the infirmary. Oh, here we go. And this is actually quite funny. You're given a choice to don't go in or don't go in. So let's not go in. Let's evade our fate for now. Boo.
私は自分の直感を信じてみた。何より怖そうな保健室を覗くよりも誰かいないか探したい。
Indeed. And there's Escaping Samsara A playing in the background.
今でも信じられないけれど、私が現にこんな場所に飛ばされているんだもの。あの場にいたみんなもこの学校にいるかもしれない。シゲ兄に会えたら私頑張れる気がする。
To be honest, if you meet up with anyone, Mayu can keep up for a pretty long time. If she's alone, then that's a bad thing, because as we all know, she died because she was alone. Because she's the fairest of them all. She bodes well with friends. But now, let's jump straight in. Book of Shadows, Episode 2, Demise. We are starting out outside the infirmary. I like these musics. I don't actually remember the layout. Now since Mayu is dead, the conglomeration of raw meat is not outside the infirmary at this point. The science lab is locked. We cannot go into the nurse's office because, well, we die if we would go there, so the game isn't even letting us do that. And now we are gonna hunt for some name tags. The stairwell is packed tightly with desks, making it completely impassable. Yep, we are going to need one of the boys to move all the stuff out of the way. Yeah, that's why we need Yoshiki, because he has the muscle for this kind of job. Oh, you elitist bastard, Shigeni, you. Well, in any case, third floor off limits from this side. So let's go inside 3 Alpha. Because there's a corpse in here. One that needs our help, actually. There you go. Looking pretty creepy there, lady. I'll be with you shortly. There's something written here in chalk. Smells so good. The smell of tasty meat. Where is it coming from? I'm guessing it's coming from science lab, but we will talk about that later. Now you. It was a young girl. Implying it isn't a young girl anymore. She seemed to be in her mid-teens. And she was wearing a school uniform, suggesting she was indeed another student from somewhere. But something wasn't right. Upon closer inspection, I realized that this young girl was very much dead. What? Yeah, that smell. Well, I don't know. Looks like she's been dead for like a day or something. No, longer than that. Must smell pretty goddamn bad. I wondered how much time had passed since she died. Externally, she still looked to be mostly intact, but her internal organs had clearly begun to decay, with various and sundry fluids leaking out on the floor all around her. Oh, that's a disgusting thought. Drawing in for a more detailed look, I noticed that both her eyeballs had been stabbed with pencils. Well, that's a nice way to go. Actually, it's not that bad when you consider what some of these people had gone through. Oh, sorry. It's quite funny how Mayu is actually the first person in this entire game to think about calling the police. That's really surprising, actually. But of course, there's no reception. I tried dialing 110, Japan's emergency services. For Finland, it's 112. But the call wouldn't go through. Yeah, you're only 1 dimension away. Actually, you can. Well, not exactly that, but we'll take the pencils out, and then that's pretty much what happens to everyone. Okay, I'm gonna see her again. Looking closely, there's a student ID name tag on the ground near her body. Karasuyama High School, Shiori Fujiwara. Shiori Fujiwara was 16 years old and died of shock after pencil was used to slash eyes out and driven into brain. As we inspected. I seem to remember that there was a ghosty goo there, but you seem to be remembering wrong, so let us go to 2A. Because 2A is locked. But we cannot go through here. The hallway is blocked off. I remember that we needed to actually do something with the girl over here. Oh, there we go. Spirit is out now. Hitodama.
お願い。私の体を隠して。
That sound was right beside my right ear.
私の体を。あ、 ほしいの？今の私を人に見られたくない。
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, if I was dead, that's one of the worries that I would actually have. Like, how are people going to see me when I'm dead? It would be pretty embarrassing sometimes. I'm sorry, I'm just typing something out, and we continue. Now, we need to find something to cover the body with.
どうしよう。力になってあげた方がいいのかな。
Well, we can at least try. Try to help.
本当は埋葬してあげられたらいいんだけど、せめて大きな布でもあれば。
Give you a proper burial. Just lay her down on the floor and put tables above her. Yes, we need something to cover her, which can be found in front of the nurse's office. Or infirmary. Which was actually there before, but I forgot about it. Or was it here? I don't remember. There it is. Blanket. It's extremely dusty, but from the looks of it, this is the sheet that goes on the infirmary bed.
これなら大きさも十分かな。
The bed sheets are surprisingly not dusty. This one is dusty. Someone is changing these sheets. Take the sheet. If you don't take it and if you don't help her, then nothing really happens, but you get a useful item. You get a charm for her, which acts the same as the power stone from the last game. I rolled up the dusty sheet, but it put it under my arm and returned to classroom 3A automatically. Thank you, Mayu. There we go. By the way, that looks pretty disconcerting. Imagine imagine coming into the room and seeing that, like, what the hell is going on over here? You're welcome.
女の子ならこういう姿他人に見せたくないっていう気持ちわかるから。その思いやりの気持ちなくさないで。ここでは優しさも友情もいたわりも気が緩むとすぐに腐ってしまうから。
A lot of time for Mayu to be corrupted like that. But there we go. We helped someone in this place that despair roams in. And for that, she left us a little gift here.
なんだろう。紙でできたお守り?
Take the paper charm. Yes. Acquired paper charm.
今の子がくれたのかな。なくさないように学生証に挟んでおこう。
And now that we've done everything in the second floor east, we're gonna go to the first floor. There's a large hole in the floor here. Oh yeah, we need to find a piece of wood to get over that, which is in 3A, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but it's worth checking out nonetheless. So let's go! Go, go, go! And there's the creepy lady with her blanket. There we go.
丈夫そうな糸だから何かに使えるかな。
Yeah. Take the loose board. Acquired loose board. And we go down. And now we can get over that thingamacheese. Okay, now I remember where every single corpse is, so I can do this easily enough.
さっきの板切れで橋渡しできないかな。
Yes, let us do it. Set the loose board. If you don't, then you cannot proceed. The loose board slides nicely over the hole. There we go. We have our makeshift bridge. Seems sturdy enough. It should be possible to cross here now. Yep, go down to the first floor. Or wait, the first floor. Candle.
これ
Yes, it's Ayumi's candle.
これって篠崎さんのろうそく。よかった。やっぱりみんなこの学校のどこかにいるんだ。
And by the way, Mayu is also the only one to actually notice that they are Shinosaki's candles. Or maybe the other ones did, but it's a safe point in that game, so... Yeah. Now... I'm just gonna show you what happens if you try to go to the second ring. The door is frozen in place as if it's just a decoration on the wall. It can't be opened. We cannot go to the second wing. Yeah, let's go to the exit. Because there's something there that we need to see. Actually, there's multiple things we need to see over there. But first things first. Let's see if we can go outside. Wanna guess what happens? The door is frozen in place. If it's just a decoration on the wall, it can't be opened.
叩いてもびくともしないなんて。やっぱりここなんか変だよ。
Yeah, something's definitely wrong here. There's corpses all around. Though, looking outside of the window, it doesn't seem like the outside is any better. Now, there's a corpse down there, but there's nothing else here. Okay. And we can read this, so let's do it. Unforgivable. I thought we were friends. I hope you die in agony. Well, someone died. Pretty happy. Hi there. There are skeletal remains here. Whoever this was seems to have died a while ago, as the bones are already bleached white. Judging by stature and clothing, this was probably a middle school girl. There's a blood-stained box cutter lying on the ground nearby, suggesting a likely cause of death. A student ID name tag is attached to the front of her uniform. Momijigawa High School. Hina Hirose. And she was... wait a second. 17 years old, and cause of death was carotid artery slashed with box cutter. Bled out. I do not know for certain what is carotid artery. It's hard. I cannot speak today. It's hard for me to say. Also. Oh, hi.
私はあんたなんて何とも思ってないのよ。ただの友達。でも、もう友達でさえ。
For you to do what you did just because there are no teachers or adults around, it's disgusting, disgusting, positively disgusting. Just think about what that is.
するなんて気持ち悪い。気持ち悪い。
Did you take the box cutter?
気持ち悪い。
I think it did.
死んでよ。
Yeah, let's go out of here. But, before we go, there's Ryu. Just as I was about to leave the entranceway, the spirit of a little boy suddenly materialized in front of the door. I remembered his face.
あの子だ。どうしよう。見つかったらまずい気がする。
Yeah, we need to go. I immediately ducked into the shadow of the shoe copies, doing my best to stay out of sight. If you touch Ryu, you will die. But because we are here to make horrible mistakes, let's do this. Hi. Got you. Here we go. Fucking wrong end town. But, as I said earlier, that works like that. Of course, we're not gonna learn from our mistakes, so let's do it again. I was caught in his cold, dead hands. He had me by the wrist and absolutely was not letting go. That's creepy, and you know it. With one sudden, inelegant movement, he grabbed my hair in his other hand and began violently pulling on it with all his might. Oh. In that instant, I found myself unable to breathe and unable to speak. The hand that was previously on my wrist was now strangling the life out of me, gripping my neck with an almost inhuman amount of strength. Mayu is getting the short end of a stick over here. Because he's a ghost. For a brief moment I could feel a cold sensation on my arm. Ugh. And then just like that, my entire torso was forced backwards into a decidedly unnatural bend. I heard a sound like the cracking of a huge lobster tail. Sudden jolts of intense pain shot through every last inch of my body, like electricity, and sweat began overflowing from every pore. But this death is far from over. My body, equally uncertain of how to react to levels of pain this severe, responded with intense nausea. Somebody, please. How many people were in the room with me? I was feeling the touch of countless hands, and some clearly did not belong to children. Who were these people, and how many of them were holding me down? Well, that's certainly not creepy at all. Yet another hand grabbed my ankle. With an even greater force than before, my legs were pulled in opposite directions. Then, with a startlingly loud crunch, they snapped right off my hips. Wishbone. My limbs were either gone now or barely still attached. I was like a discarded wishbone, or a toy they had no qualms about breaking. Ouch. That was a pretty horrifying ending. Bam. Wrong end. 2, wrong end 1. Yeah, first one. Game data already exists. Alright, yes, we shall do that. Now we shall not die by that way. resume play from this while. Let's go. This time with slightly less death than before. Now if you go up here without the charm, you have doomed yourself, so of course we're gonna go here. Yep, there's a large hole in the floor, it won't be possible for getting there from here, but if you try to leave, then... There you go. Of course the charm is gonna save us this time. The paper charm I picked up earlier suddenly burst into flames and for a split second then instantaneously turned to ash. My lifeline was gone. Last chance. There we go. We saved ourselves with the charm, so yeah, don't go up there. Ryu is waiting for you. Why did I go here? Because there's a corpse here. Right there. It's a human skeleton still in the process of decaying. Based on size and uniform, this was probably a male junior or senior high student. Looking closely, there's a student ID name tag lodged halfway inside his ribcage. Momijigawa High School, Shunsuke Sasaki. Oh yeah. It's a fan's name, by the way, Shunsuke Sasaki. Age 17, cause of death, strangled to death by unknown assailant. A crumpled up piece of paper fell from the disheveled sleeve of his school uniform. Let's see what this... It wasn't that long ago that I was wishing for some great disaster to help alleviate the boredom of everyday life. I guess I should have been careful what I wished for. Now all I want to do is return to that peaceful, uneventful life I was living back home. Those days spent laughing, smiling, scowling or crying may not have seemed like much, but they were what life is all about. Here, there's just suffering. I never realized how much it hurt to go even for one single day without eating anything. And I'm so thirsty. I feel like I could die at any moment. Mommy, please. I need my dinner. And he died in a... It looks like he's frowning really hard. Fate can be changed. But for how long, that is debatable. Let's go here. Was there anything here? I don't remember. I don't think there was anything over here. Yet I am still here, going to the poolside. The poolside, there's gotta be something. Right? Right? God damn it! Well, there's something over here later on. But at least I showed you that there's nothing over here. Go there. Upstairs we go. One C. Notice from Mrs. Shinosaki, school infirmary. That means Yoshi. If you play on school grounds during free period, don't forget to wash your mouth and hands before returning to class. Harmful germs are always nearby. Well, that's a nice note. Hi. It's a human skeleton still in the process of decaying. Based on size and uniform, this was probably a female junior or senior high school student. And there's still a name tag pinned to her jacket. Momichigawa High School, Ayaka Shimizu. Ayaka Shimizu was 16 years old, and cause of death was trauma to neck after falling downstairs. Died after several hours of excruciating pain. That's pretty bad. 21% darkening, by the way. That is a notebook, but for 2 wrong ends in this chapter, we must not pick it up. So, I'm gonna save here for later time. And pick it up when I have acquired those endings. The door of the classroom 1B is frozen in place. I think it's just a decoration on the wall. It can't be opened. There's a note here, though. Fate never changes. Well, that just goes against the last note we read, which said fate can't be changed. But maybe it just means fate can be changed, but ultimately it never changes.
なんだろう。ここはちょっとだけ他の場所より安心する。
Well,
も
1A
し
is...
かしたらシゲ兄たちもここに来たのかな。
Well, 1A is like the place everyone starts, so... It's like the least cursed room.
考えすぎかな。
Okay, here we go. I don't actually remember what this is. A rusty key sits on the teacher's podium atop the note that just says, "Do not use this key under any circumstances."
何の鍵だろう。
Take the rusty key. And yeah, it doesn't lead us to a nice location. I know the note says not to use it, but this key could be important. I should take it with me just in case, yeah. No harm in pocketing it. There's something stuck to the broken glass of this cabinet door. It seems to be a human hair and skin. Ew. Oh, that's nice. It's an old yellowed glass newsletter. Looks like they just cut an article out of the local newspaper and photocopied it. Child abduction and murder follow-up report. It's hard to imagine what the bereaved family and friends of the victims must be going through. Classmates of the deceased will be dedicating memorial portraits and flowers in their honor. You is missing on that honor there. And the school chorus is slated to sing for them as well. Well, these are pretty nice rooms, actually. No corpses here, though. But, oh well, it does not matter, we go up here. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna look at this. There's one corpse up here, and we actually need that. The reference room. The door to the reference room seems to be locked. We need to get it open somehow, but that will come only later on. Now, at the end of the hall there's one corpse. Or was there? Yes, there was. It's a set of skeletal remains still in the process of decaying. Based on height and uniform, this seems to have been a junior or senior high school boy. There's a pair of spiked shoes lying on the ground nearby. Maybe he was an athlete? His head seems to have been detached from his body completely. There's not a lot of blood on the floor, but it nonetheless seems logical to conclude that this was the cause of death. As expected, his student ID name tag seems to have survived intact and is still pinned to his uniform. Momichigawa High School, Mitsuruki Amano. He was 18 years old and the cause of death was died of shock from broken neck. Yeah. Now... Wait. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, we need to read that. Before we go. No. I didn't intend for that to happen. I just wanted to tell you how I felt. But then you had to go and die. Was this in regards to the dead girl I encountered in the entranceway? He seemed to be wearing the same school uniform as her.
すまないけど、もう一度よく調べてみた方がいいのかな。
We need to go back, and Mayu does it for us. Now if we had picked up the notebook, we would actually know what happened between these people that we are examining through. And that's why we get the wrong ends, because we don't know everything for some reason.
かわいそうだけど、もうちょっとよく調べてみようかな。
Examine the body in detail. There's a box cutter on the floor next to the girl's body. Its blade is jagged and crusted over with blood. It's clearly not usable anymore. But everything seems to indicate that this is what was used to kill her. There's a sticker label on the back of the handle with a name written on it. Its owner, perhaps? It says Ayaka Shimizu. Ayaka Shimizu was actually the girl that was in Classroom 1C. Unfortunately, that does not lead us anywhere. So we continue on.
Maya! Maya!
And that is actually Morishige.
Maya! Maya!
この声。
Yes, it is. Your dreams come true.
Maya! 聞こえるか？返事をしてくれ！
しげにしげに、私ここだよ。しげに、こっちだよ。聞こえる？ねえ、しげに。
マヤ！どこだ？マヤ！
Well, he is certainly putting his everything into shouting.
待って、しげに、置いてかないで。私ここにいるの。しげに。
No answer. The calls had stopped. The voice was long gone. He must have wandered too far away.
しげに。聞こえなかったの？私の声。
No, there's actually a much more serious reason than that he couldn't hear you. Or he could hear you, but not see you.
でも、きっとまだ近くにいる。しげに、聞こえたら答えて。
And we are back in the game. 27% darkening. We are going down crazy lane. Now we go back to 1F. Or that way, if I remember correctly, but I could be very, very wrong. No, I seem to remember that we must go here. Somewhere. It's been a long time. Yeah, here we go.
しげに。ずいぶん探したのに、こっちじゃないのかな。どうして。ただ会いたいだけなのに。ダメだ。ダメ。こんなことで泣いちゃ。しげにに笑われちゃ。
Here we go.
地震。立っていられなくて、私は死ぬ気がついてしまった。その弾みで学生証を落としてしまう。
And here is where she loses the piece of her charm. The scrap of paper from the Sachiko charm must have shaken loose in the process, slipped out and taken away haphazardly onto the floor. And there we go. Her fate is sealed. Though we already knew that. Since she lost it in the first place. Or in the first game. Was it finally over? I cautiously pulled myself back to my feet. And that's when I realized that the floor, no, the whole hallway had changed. Cracks and holes in the floor had somehow been sealed up, and the window that was there before was now completely gone. I couldn't really come to terms with what I was seeing. Was this reality? What kind of hell was I stuck in anyway? was getting goosebumps all over my body, and my mind felt like it was shutting down. Then I saw the Sachiko charm scrap and snapped back to my senses.
いけない。これ大事なんだから。
Oh, you didn't lose it. Okay.
床に落とした切れ端を慌てて拾う。さっき教室でやったおまじない。隣にいたしげ兄やクラスのみんなの笑顔が浮かぶ。
I think since she lost it in the first game, no matter if she has it here or not, she's gonna die. Because that's how it goes. The charm is all about what's gonna happen to you in the next time loop.
体がブルブル震えて、みるみる視界がにじんでいく。
Well, to be honest, you've been doing pretty well on your own up until this point, Mayu. Considering what kind of a place this is.
どうしてこんなことに。
I mean, Naomi darkened like 1% a second, and you're only at 27 or something. And here we go, flashback time.
そうか。文化会館のステージは貸してもらえなかったのか。
うん。電話で問い合わせた時は OK もらえたんだけど、やっぱり顧問の先生の許可がないとって。
時代錯誤な対応だな。
Who says that?
仕方ないよ。うちは顧問の先生もあんまり乗り気じゃないし。郊外での公演は難しいかな。
Kind of like the chemistry between Morishige and Mayu, because Mayu is so positive all the time and Morishige is so negative all the time. They complete each other.
お前はいいのかそれで。脚本はもう仕上がってるんだろ。なんなら俺が交渉してきてやろうか。相手が大人だからって場合によっては必要以上に敬意を払う必要なんてないんだ。なんだ。
別にしげにって怒ると可愛い顔になるなって。
くだらない。
冗談だってば。ただね、しげ兄が怒ってくれたのが嬉しいの。私って他人と衝突したりとかそういうの苦手だからさ。しげ兄が私の代わりに怒ってくれたみたいでちょっとすっきりしちゃった。
相変わらず変わったやつだな。
個性的って言ってほしいな。これでも演劇部の看板女優なんだよ。
ものは言いようだよな。
まあね。演技にとどまらず脚本、演出、衣装デザインの才能もあるんだから自分でも困っちゃうよ。
強いな、眉は。
Morishige knows exactly what he's talking about in this part, because Mayu is like the strongest. No, not that. Mayu is really strong, as we see in this particular instance, how she copes with being alone in this place.
え？
お前は強いよ、眉。うまくいかない時もそうやって笑って、昔から自分よりも親や友達を思いやって。
And it's nice though that Morishige has his flaws. He does actually note or admit that he has his flaws, and that Mayu is actually a really good person, which only makes the chemistry between the two even sweeter. But as we all know, they both die, so all of this does not matter in the end.
辛い時だって 人前ではいつも涙をこらえてたもんな。
It's just a way of making us care for the characters before they off them. But but it doesn't matter. I like these moments.
いや、やだなあ、しげにってば。そういうのってなんか口説き文句みたい。だいたいしげにいつも私は頼りないって。
いや、本心で言ってるんだ。強さにもいろいろある。眉の強さはなんていうのかな、うまく言えないが健やかで。
It's a strength that never falters.
お前ならきっと将来どんな困難があっても、もしつまずいて倒れてしまっても泣きながら何度でも立ち上がれる。
And though Morishige has really a lot of faults, he is speaking the truth here.
俺みたいな冷めた人間にさえそう思わせる力があるんだ、お前には。
Which means that if he tries, he can actually be a good person.
しげに。違うよ、しげに。私そんなに強くなんて。私はただ人前で取り繕うのが得意なだけ。本当に辛い目に遭うのが怖いから。
Like I said, Mayu, you've held up really well in a situation like this so far.
みんなが望むようないい子を演じていただけ。
I see what they did there, because Morishige actually said that in the first game. And here's our savior.
鈴本か。
Dun dun dun, it's Yoshiki.
どうしたんだよ、そんなとこで座り込んじまって。
岸沼くん、よかった、無事だったんだね。
ああ、なんとかな。鈴本も怪我とかしてねえだろうな。
It's kind of funny though that Yoshiki just comes out of nowhere, like, oh, hi. I've been wandering around here myself too. But yeah, the earthquake did it. Did they experience any earthquakes in the... Yes, they did, actually.
涙見られちゃったかな。
What does it matter? Who wouldn't cry in a place like this?
おい、鼻出てんぞ。ちょい汚れてっけど、俺のハンカチ使うか？
ありがとう。でもそれは篠崎さんに貸してあげた方がいいよ。
Oh yeah, speaking of Shinosaki.
え？なんでだよ。
あ、気にしないで。特に意味はないの。
ああ、その篠崎のことなんだけど、お前どっかで見かけなかったか？
え？私は見てないけど。
The fact that Mayu actually didn't die changed a lot since Yoshiki and Ayumi have separated, and it was not because of Mayu splashing against the wall that they separated, since she isn't dead yet.
そっか、こっちに来たんじゃねえのか。
岸沼くん、篠崎さんと一緒にいたの？
ああ、さっきまでな。あいつ急に様子がおかしくなっちまって、なんかこう悪いもんに取りつかれたみたいな感じで わけわかんねえこと叫びながらどっか行っちまったんだよ。
そうなんだ。心配だね。篠崎さんって霊感とか強いタイプだから、もしかしてさっきの地震と関係あるのかな。
あの地震は。
And now we relive the memories of Yoshiki as he was with Ayumi before. But actually we're gonna do that in the next episode and see what actually happened to Ayumi. Since Mayu didn't die, Yoshiki and Ayumi never met Naho, and thus they don't know what to actually do next. Which means that they just skip to the pool, but they don't actually know that Tokiko's tongue is in the pool. So they are just wandering around aimlessly. But yeah, we're gonna see in the next episode what that means for our heroes in this game. So, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.